I don't even know what time it is. Good hello, everybody. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are being primed for something absolutely huge. What I'm going to do in this video, and this is only going to be a short video, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. Basically, if you've been paying attention to the news, if you've been paying attention to the media, it's almost impossible to not see the massive uptick in alien disclosure, UFOs, UAPs. There was this guy, and I can't remember what his name was. He's like the UFO guy with the beard, and he's saying, like, he did a video, like, I think it was January last year. He was saying that there is going to be a disclosure, and the government are going to lie. And the government are going to say that there is an alien ship on its way to Earth. He even give the date. Now, a lot of people are on the chat saying, oh, that's ridiculous, Sean. That's crazy. That'd never happen. That's absolutely wild. Well, let me put this to you. I want to talk real quick I just want to give a quick explanation or a brief synopsis of what Project MK Ultra was. Now, this really happened. All right. It really, really happened. Nobody's disputing it. The US government are not disputing it. Nobody is disputing it. What I want to ask you guys a question is, did the project just close? Or did it continue under another name? So if there is some sort of alien disclosure in the next couple of days, weeks, months, would it actually surprise anybody? This thing's been floated around for quite a while, and it's called I think it's called Project Blue Beam or something. Anyway, I just want to, like I said, I want to talk about MK Ultra and then ask everybody the question, if people have the capacity to do this to other people, to lie, make things up, fabricate, do things against their will, why wouldn't people either make up that aliens were coming? Why wouldn't they hide that aliens were already here? Because if you think about it, right? If you think about the nature of the universe and the vast, and the vastness of the cosmos, it's a mathematical certainty that aliens do exist. And for those of you guys who've got an eagle eye, yes, my roof started leaking again. I thought I fixed it, but no, the rain's coming down. So Project MK Ultra was a highly secretive and illegal CIA program focused on mind control, behavioral modification, and interrogation techniques. Now, it ran from 1953 to 1973, and I often wonder what preceded this. For those of you guys who know, there was a project at the end of the Second World War called Operation Paperclip, where the Allied forces snatched all the German scientists and said, you're no longer German working for, those naughty Germans. You're now American scientists or British scientists. And there was, if you go to some fringe parts of the internet, and I'm not going to focus on this, I'm going to focus on what we know. If you go to some fringe parts of the internet, you will find that, certain Austrian painters, they used psychics who were allegedly channeling information from another world. Now, that is totally wild. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to stick with what we know. So the program began during the early Cold War, driven by fears that communist nations, i.e. the then Soviet Union, China, North Korea, had developed advanced brainwashing methods. So the CIA, not wanting to fall behind, I think the director was called, I can't remember his name, basically approved MK Ultra in 1953 to develop techniques and substances that could manipulate mental states, extract information, i.e. truth serums, control behavior, does that sound familiar? And weaken or discredit individuals. Now, some of the experimentations were absolutely bonkers. The word MK Ultra was like, it was an umbrella project with, I think there was over 150 known sub-projects. And these were all funded through front organizations, about 100 different institutions, maybe less, I don't know, slightly less, maybe 90 or something. These included universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. And of course, any ties with pharmaceutical companies, prisons, hospitals, and universities have all stopped. They've all obviously stopped since MK Ultra, and that's all done now, right? Key techniques included without informed consent, covert administration of high doses of LSD and other psychoactive drugs, other chemical hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and electroshock therapy. There was a lot more stuff that went on under the guise of MK Ultra, but I want to keep this video relatively short. Many experiments targeted vulnerable groups, i.e., prisoners, mental health patients, drug addicts, even normal everyday United States and Canadian citizens. One of those famous cases involved a CIA scientist, Frank Olson. If you guys want to look into what happened to him, it's pretty dark. Most of the MK Ultra records were deliberately destroyed in 1973 on the orders of the CIA director, making full details almost impossible to reconstruct. The program came to light in the mid-70s, 76, I think it was. There've been investigations, but because of the lack of evidence, getting a full understanding of what really happened in MK Ultra is very difficult. It's frequently cited as a stark example of government overreach, abuse of power, and disregard for human rights. It's fueled ongoing distrust in the intelligence agencies and inspired countless books, documentaries. What's the one that was on Netflix? Stranger Things, conspiracy theories, all sorts of crazy stuff. Now, declassified CIA documents and Senate reports from the 1970s remain the primary source of this information. So, we understand that, let's not pretend that the Russians, the Chinese, the British, let's not pretend that other countries don't have similar projects, because I would speculate 100% that they do. So what I'm getting at here, Millie Mono is saying, I love Stranger Things. We all love Millie Mono. I think we all love Stranger Things. So what I'm getting at here, when I talk about, alien disclosure, and the massive ramping up we're seeing right now, mainstream media are now not shying away from this thing. They are printing this thing and people are talking about it. Would it surprise anyone? Would it really surprise anyone if this thing happened? And whether it's real or fake, I think either one is just as, literally, like, if there is an alien invasion, right? Let's just go the two options, right? If there is a real-time alien invasion, okay? Flying saucers, laser beams, metallic probes everywhere. Like, that would be wild, right? What would be equally as wild on the other spectrum would be if the governments, through Project Blue Beam or Blue Book or whatever, Blue Beam, I think it is, through Project Blue Beam, just faked it, just absolutely faked an alien invasion to unite the world, one world government, new world order, and we're all in lockstep being frog marched. Both of those are equally as wild, right? You would think that the alien invasion would be wilder, but let's be honest. Is anyone under any illusion that there are not aliens out there in this, out there in the cosmos? So let me jump up and get some. Comments. Helen is saying Facebook is part of it. Mind control. I think it absolutely is. Elon Musk's just come down to Earth. Elon Musk just come to the United Kingdom, and he is operating. Elon Musk is offering broadband for £35 a month, which is undercutting everybody. I can remember when this happened in Ukraine in 2013. Zuckerberg went into Ukraine and he said, "Hey everyone, if you download the Facebook app, you get Facebook, and we'll give you free calls, free messaging, and free video calling." So guess what? Everybody in Ukraine was like, "Oh, free video calling, free messaging. Yeah, I'll have some of that." So everybody downloaded Facebook, right? And then guess what? If you control the algorithm on Facebook, you can control what people see, right? You can control people through it. So absolutely, I do think Facebook is part of it. And most social media networks as well. And the way this happens, So the way this happens, it's probably not what it's probably not what people are thinking. Facebook probably, Zuckerberg probably didn't start his life as a CIA troll or a CIA operative, and people at these other websites and these influencers, they probably didn't, they probably don't work behind the scenes in some shady laboratory, and they've got, they like they put their suit on and they don't do that. What will happen is, for example, let's just use Facebook as an example, seeing as people are talking about it. And I'm totally speculating here. This is a total hypothetical, and I genuinely don't know. But if somebody developed Facebook, right, or an app, and the government thought, oh, that's successful, we need something like that. Guess what? Somebody from the government will go out, they'll knock on their door, meet them in a bar, and they'll say, hello, mate. I like your app. He'll say, oh, thank you. And then he can either go one of two ways. He can say, do you need investment? Or he can say, do you want to fight crime? So straight away you're getting identity politics there. It's going to be very difficult for people to say, I don't want to fight crime. I want to be a criminal. It's very difficult to turn down investment. So when they do that, that's how you start the conversation. And and they don't need to do much, right? And they don't need to do much to taint these people. The Watchman is saying MK Ultra is BS. The Watchman is saying more BS than fact. Well, I don't know. What do we think? Do we think MK Ultra is BS? I mean, there's a lot of declassified information on MK Ultra, like a lot. Maybe it is all BS. I don't know. Maybe it is all BS. And the real. Okay, so what would be more wild? So what would be more wild, right? The MK Ultra is BS, and nobody from the government have said it's BS, or that it's real. Like, which one of those things would be more wild? You guys see where I'm going, right? The Watchman is saying MK Ultra is more BS than fact, which, that's fine if that's what he thinks. Now, what would be the wilder scenario here? If people are coming out with this information about MK Ultra, times, places, dates, people, experiments, and the government are just like, I can't even be bothered. Yeah, whatever, and nobody's ever called it out. Wouldn't that be a bigger story? Jack Nimble is saying, what about dog humans? What's a dog human? Oh, guys, I can't go down dog humans. I can't go down. I don't even know what dog humans are. I'll have to look into that in my own time. Millie Mono is saying there's definitely an alien invasion in Wales. She's been talking about. Yeah, I've seen her, Millie Mono. I know exactly who you're talking about. The Welsh. Is she the Welsh health minister or something? It's quite funny. It is really funny. Right, I'm just going to jump down. Right, listen, guys, I want to keep this as a relatively short live stream, and I just want people to think about that, right? So when these things are happening in the mainstream, and I've noticed these a lot more than, I've noticed these a lot more. We are having massive amounts of disclosure at the moment, and it does feel like we are being primed for something that's absolutely huge. I can remember when, I can't remember it all, but I can remember watching a speech. I think it was Reagan. From the United States. And he was saying how humanity would come together if there was an alien invasion. And I think he's absolutely right. I think humans would absolutely put aside, I think humans would absolutely put aside their petty differences, and absolutely work together. Like, I could very well see a scene where US military are flying over to Russia to help them out. and vice versa with the Russians, and everybody's pulling together, and then we defeat the aliens, and then guess what? We're under one world government. Now, I don't know which way this is going to go, but what I do know is there's a massive uptick, and I do think we're being primed for a massive disclosure, and I think it's coming soon. Right, listen, I am going to close this down. I just wanted this to be a short live stream. I'm going to be back on at the normal time. Werewolf show. What about werewolves? I don't know. Maybe they're true. I mean, look, I thought vampires were fake until I read an article about something in blood. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, that's another live stream for another time. So I'm going to be talking when I get back on later on at 8 about conscription. There's some wild stuff happening with regards to conscription in the United Kingdom. It's totally gone under the radar, but it is out on the mainstream media. So I'm going to be talking about that. Everybody's focused on Donald Trump in Davos. Hasn't he dropped some absolute truth bombs? He has. I love Donald Trump dropping truth bombs. They're the best truth bombs I've ever seen. And aren't they great? Are they great and fantastic? Right, listen. Also, for you guys who are members, I dropped a members only video earlier, and that is it's like a little tutorial, and it's how to make Swedish vodka. And if I did it right, and I don't know if I've done it right, but if I did it right, that will give you, I think, 5 liters of Swedish vodka. And I think it cost less than £2. So what a saving, guys. What a saving. So literally, if you become a member and you drink vodka, you're earning money. You're literally earning money by becoming a member. Anyway, I am going to close this down now. I'll be back on... I'll be back on at 8. I'll be back on at 8, guys. I've got to go. I've been absolutely rushed off my feet today. Like I said, the roof's leaking again. It's been a swizzle. I'll be back on at 8. We'll be talking about conscription coming to the United Kingdom.